And tonight, reaction is pouring in to one of President-elect Donald Trump's other controversial nominations, Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz to be Attorney General. This comes amid growing questions about whether he can be confirmed in the Senate. And tonight, we're getting late-breaking reporting about that House ethics investigation into Matt Gaetz. Jay O'Brien has more.
By now, you've probably heard the name Matt Gaetz, a self-described conservative firebrand, a deeply loyal Trump supporter.
He's a great guy. He's really a great person. And he's on the controversial side, but that's not bad.
And now the president-elect's pick for Attorney General.
Maybe I should serve as Attorney General of the United States. I'd be easy on marijuana and tough on big tech.
But the controversial pick of the now former Florida congressman is sending shockwaves across Washington, D.C.
Clearly, it's just kind of like a God tier kind of trolling, just to trigger a meltdown.
He's going to have an uphill battle.
I can name between 5 and 10 Republicans who are seriously considering voting against this nomination.
And it's not just Gaetz's reputation as a conservative bomb thrower that's stirring some backlash to his nomination to the top law enforcement job in the country. It's also allegations about Gaetz's past.
I'm a canceled man in some corners of the internet. I might be a wanted man by the deep state.
The Florida congressman was facing a House Ethics Committee investigation into allegations of sex trafficking. Specifically that he paid for and engaged in sexual relations with an underage girl. And sources telling ABC News that woman testified before the House Ethics Committee that Gaetz had sex with her when she was 17 years old, and he was a member of Congress. In a statement tonight to ABC News, Gaetz says these allegations are invented and would constitute false testimony to Congress. This false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. Gaetz has denied all allegations against him. And now that Gaetz has resigned from Congress to potentially join Trump's cabinet, that House investigation into him will end.
I serve with some real scumbags. Look, Matt Gaetz, he paid minors to have sex with him.
The Department of Justice investigated similar claims for years and ultimately did not bring any charges.
Word is, I now have problems with the Ethics Committee, which seems really odd to me because I'm the one screaming loudest for actual ethics reforms.
Sources tell ABC News the House Ethics Committee was in the final stages of its probe into Gaetz and preparing to decide this week whether to release a final report. But Gaetz's resignation preempted that. Just the latest in a long career of surprises, political chaos, and controversy that's followed Matt Gaetz. Gaetz earned a law degree from William & Mary in 2007 before working at a law firm in Florida. He then followed his father's footsteps into Florida politics, serving in the State House from 2010 to 2016, and then winning a seat in Congress in the Republican stronghold of the Florida Panhandle the same year Donald Trump won the White House.
Whether it's presidents or senators or members of Congress, there's kind of two ways people look at Washington. They either look at it as a swamp that needs to be drained or like a mud bath that you ought to soak into and enjoy.
Gaetz quickly grew close to Trump and has a penchant for political clashes.
I'm glad that we've got a president that's willing to take the slings and arrows and that's willing to go out there and say that there are things that we got to do to be able to reform the very institution of this place.
In 2018, he received bipartisan condemnation for inviting a Holocaust denier to Trump's State of the Union. A year later, he hired a speechwriter who had been fired by the Trump White House after speaking at a white nationalist conference. But it was Gaetz's opposition to Kevin McCarthy's bid to become Speaker of the House in 2023 that made him a household name.
That was easy, huh? I never thought we'd get up here.
Building a coalition of far-right conservatives opposing McCarthy on ballot after ballot, ultimately relenting after 15 rounds of voting. Tensions on the floor so high, Gaetz almost getting in a fight with one of his Republican colleagues. Months later, Gaetz was back again, triggering a motion to vacate, starting the process to oust Kevin McCarthy from his job. and flinging the House of Representatives into weeks of political chaos.
If this House of Representatives has exceeded all expectations, then we definitely need higher expectations.
When the dust settled and McCarthy was gone, the former Speaker held Gaetz personally responsible and even funded an unsuccessful primary challenger against the congressman. McCarthy believes Gaetz will not be confirmed as Attorney General.
I think the choices are very good except one. Look, Gaetz won't get confirmed. Everybody knows that.
As Attorney General, Gaetz would be in a commanding position, directing the entire law enforcement apparatus of the federal government. The top law enforcement job a focus for Donald Trump, who has said he wants to change the entire Justice Department, and even on the campaign trail suggested he could prosecute his political opponents.
I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military.
And tonight, sources tell ABC News rank-and-file Department of Justice employees are concerned. One telling ABC News, quote, "This can't be real," and another predicting mass resignations if Gaetz gets sworn in.
Jay O'Brien joins us now from Washington. And Jay, we've learned who Trump plans to nominate to serve as Deputy Attorney General, and that could certainly be an important pick if a Gaetz confirmation drags on for an extended period of time. Tell us about who he nominated.
Right, an expected rocky road for Matt Gaetz to get confirmed, who Donald Trump wants to be the Deputy Attorney General, who would really oversee the day-to-day operations of the Department of Justice, is someone named Todd Blanche. Todd Blanche was Donald Trump's lawyer, particularly during Donald Trump's New York criminal trial, where he was found guilty on those charges of falsifying business records, tied, remember, Linsey, to those hush money payments made to Stormy Daniels in the 2016 election. But Todd Blanche has something that Matt Gaetz does not have, which is experience working in the Department of Justice. He worked for the Southern District of New York, that powerful division of the Department of Justice, that powerful U.S. Attorney's Office. He would serve, if he gets through that confirmation process, as the number 2 now at DOJ, possibly under Matt Gaetz, Linsey.
All right, all very interesting. Jay O'Brien, our thanks to you.